There's a water crisis happening in Newark. We discussed this recently on TMBS, and there's an incredible contrast between the specific wealth concentration, although of course it's totally not distributed fairly at all, but there is an enormous wealth in New York City and an enormous poverty in Newark, which is just, miles away. We're going to be seeing this nationally. The infrastructure upgrades of the New Deal that delivered a lot of water to people and was an incredible achievement, they're coming to a head. 60, 70 years is about the lifespan of these things, of these pipe systems. And of course, because of austerity and neoliberalism, there hasn't been public investment into upgrading and keeping them safe and updated. And this is, this is a serious national crisis. I mean, this is lead in water. This damages people's brains for life. One of the most depressing and cynical takes that I saw, I forget who, but somebody said on Twitter, maybe it will take another violence outbreak like the 80s to get serious about this. One of the most compelling arguments about certain spikes in violent crime could be correlated with lead pollution. This is from Democracy Now! This is Eric Olson from the Natural Resources Defense Council, really explaining the scope of the crisis in Newark, which we all need to be paying attention to. We all need to be talking about. Cory Booker is pretty much irrelevant in the presidential race, but I do want to say tonight he's going to be posturing and preening a lot and talking about justice and this and that. When he was mayor of Newark, he was able to get hundreds of millions of dollars leveraged from Facebook, hedge funds, and all of these other enormous sites of resources, essentially to terrorize teachers' unions and do a Betsy DeVos public education agenda. I didn't hear him a single time when he was mayor of Newark say, we need to get serious about the water crisis in this city.
Basically, what we have is a public health crisis in Newark. Unfortunately, the lead levels in the drinking water in Newark are some of the highest in the country that have been recorded in recent years for any city. So basically what's happening is bottled water is being distributed to some citizens in Newark because the filters didn't look like they were working. There's more tests going on to figure out why that's the case. But we've got a lot of people across the city, especially children, who are really put at risk. The best estimates from 2017 are that at least 700 kids in Newark have elevated blood lead levels. We don't know how much of that is from the drinking water, but the bottom line is that we've got real health risks in Newark, and we need to fix the problem, and the city has been pretty slow to getting around to taking action on it.
There's no problem with holding the city leadership accountable. The mayor should be held accountable. I've heard some criticisms of the mayor, but the notion that you're framing what is first a federal problem, and then even inside New Jersey, these cities that have been starved of investment in Chris Christie's reign was a atrocity in terms of redistribution to wealthy people and austerity. So I don't like the frame at the end of it, but he's framing that correctly in terms of the scope. Here's another crisis.